Hi there, it's Jane
And Mike.
from Earth Care Farm. It's mid-October and we've had a really great season of gardening here at Earth Care Farm. And it's we're starting to wrap up, but there's never really an end. It's always a beginning of something new here. So we're starting to turn over our high tunnel beds, which is a fancy term for an unheated greenhouse, into our winter greens. And in order to do that, we're going to first dig our sweet potatoes up, which I'll show you how we do that. And talk about some things, even though we've been farming for many decades, not quite as long as Poppy, there's always new things to learn. And I've been growing sweet potatoes for a few years and only just found out that the greens are edible and they're delicious. I prefer them sauteed, but even raw, they're a lot like spinach, but without that
Just
acid
sweet
part.
potato greens.
Yes, sweet potato greens. So pretty amazing. Thank you for the tips on letting me know that was edible. While we're here, I thought I'd show you our Swiss chard is really gorgeous, but Cooper, the cameraman, just noticed how thick the Swiss chard stalk is. It's bigger than my hand.
I've never seen anything like that. A Swiss chard like that.
So we're just really blessed with beautiful greens this year. We will dig up some sweet potatoes so you can see what that's like. When you read about sweet potatoes, it sounds kind of challenging. You're supposed to cure them in a humid environment for a few days. I've actually never done that. I just bring them inside and we eat them, and they're very sweet. But apparently they will get even sweeter if you do something where you cure them in a very humid environment. So Cooper, can you come right in here? We're gonna dig these up. We're gonna see what we have here. The cool thing about sweet potatoes is you don't know what's under the ground here. You just kind of loosen the soil and then feel around.
It's all about the soil.
It really is. The tricky thing about sweet potatoes too is that they're under the ground and you don't know what kind of critters are under there, and we're starting to have a problem with voles. This is vole damage. It's like a little mouse. But we planted plenty of extra. So we have a little bit to feed the voles as well. But yeah, don't waste these greens. Eat them. So good.
It's my first time eating them this year.
Yeah. Alright. Might just dig up one more and then we'll move on to the next thing. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright.
A beauty.
Yeah. Alright, the other thing, this is only my second year growing ginger, and it's cool the things we can grow in Rhode Island. So ginger would actually like a longer season than we have here, but it's starting to get cold. We had a frost last night, and so it's going to be time for my ginger to be dug up. So I'm just going to show you how we do that. Actually pretty simple. And fresh ginger is quite a bit more juicy and potent than the dried brown stuff you get at the store. But so what I'll do is I'll cut these greens off, and I'm just going to store that in my refrigerator. I didn't grow that much, just 2 rows like this, but it'll be plenty for our family. All the ginger we could want. But beautiful.
Really?
Ooh, smell that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really nice. I just like to chop the ginger and then pour boiling water over it in my thermos, and then sip that throughout the day. It's really warming in the winter time. Every time I pull something out now, I'm starting to plant winter greens. So you'll see behind me there's some baby kale. I've got some arugula, some mustards. And then over here we pulled things out. This is one of my favorites. A lot of people don't know you can eat these. These are pea shoots. It's a variety of pea grown for the greens, not for the edible pods, and they're really good. The cameraman's favorite green. Yep, he's shaking his head, yep. And we have spinach here on both sides. I'm doing a trial of lots of different types of spinach to see which does the best in the winter in here. And then a variety of lettuce called Winter Density. It's a cold hardy type of lettuce, romaine lettuce. Let's see. And then we had one more thing we tried this year that we're gonna let Cooper actually cut into. But Poppy, do you want to say anything before we do that?
Oh yes. Jane recommended a Netflix to me the other day called Kiss the Ground. And I highly recommend it for everybody to see. Kiss the Ground.
Oh, he wears his heart on his sleeve.
It's very hopeful when you learn the lessons, how we can reverse problems. Kiss the ground.
And it's so simple. Just the soil has so many of our solutions. If we can get a better understanding of how soil works. So if you want us to talk about how soil works better, we're happy to explain it in one of our next videos.
Well, I'll try. It's there's two components to this climate change. I'll give you just a little bit of information about Kiss the Ground, what they're relating to people. In that we've had a severe drought here. Fortunately, our soils hold so much moisture, we still got good crops. But the drought, when you drive around, you see a lot of trees under stress, trees dying. And of course, you know about the climate change with the wildfires in the West and floods and hurricanes and whatnot elsewhere. But we can change all that. It's a human problem that we've done, my generation mostly, with excess emissions. But by composting all our organic matter and returning it to the ground, we can store carbon. The storing the carbon in the ground is the main solution to climate change. And we can really, like our soils have organic matter content on the farm, 10 to 20%.
We started off with 1% organic
1%.
matter, and now the test in here last year was 20%.
20%. And for every 1% increase in organic matter, you're storing 10 times more carbon, sequestering it out of the atmosphere. So I highly recommend the movie Kiss the Ground on Netflix right now. It will explain this. I know we're preaching to the choir, those people that are listening to this, but it could be a positive contagion if everybody started reducing their emissions. That's just simply, turning out your light bulbs, lights that you don't need, and
more efficient vehicles and
yeah,
things
and
like that.
besides that, like now lots of people are working from home, so that's all going to reduce emissions, not driving to the office and whatnot. So that's wonderful, but that's reducing emissions. The other way is sequestering carbon, and the best way to do that is by composting everything and spreading your compost, no matter what you have. We have the farm, but even if you just have a windowsill,
Little backyard, that's all you need.
anything.
And the beautiful thing about it is the side effects are you create a beautiful heaven on earth of just lushness. I've seen it happen here, and you can do it at home too.
Really?
It just makes things better on all levels.
And then once you watch that movie, Kiss the Ground, I don't think you'd ever put food scraps in a trash container and send it to the landfill that makes methane. It's the opposite. The opposite is to compost it and sequester the carbon, keep it in the soil, and then you get ginger like this, you get the sweet potatoes.
We're here making mountains of compost and creating tons of food for our own family, and
And everybody can do
everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And you can have fun with it. So we're going to have a little fun right now. I'll show you what we've been growing. We're going to switch. I'm going to be the camera person. And Cooper, the cameraman. Hi,
Hello.
that's Cooper.
Hi.
Cooper is 12 years old, and he's an amazing farmhand. We've been growing this pineapple since May. I was kind of poo-pooing it. You can just cut the top off a pineapple and plant it in the soil, and it will grow. I didn't think we'd actually get a pineapple, but we did. It's a tiny Rhode Island pineapple. And Cooper's gonna cut it, and we're gonna see how it tastes, because it smells ripe. But we're in Rhode Island, again, so we've never grown pineapples before. And it is not an impressive sized pineapple. But it is October, and it was not going to grow inside anymore.
I bet it's going to be sweet.
This grew by our pool. Felt very tropical.
Okay.
Okay. So even in Rhode Island, pineapples, ginger, turmeric, sweet potatoes, we got it going on. Then outside we've got leeks and carrots, beets and kale and collards. Let's see, Cooper. Oh, I'll stay this way. Cooper's a much better cameraman than I am.
It looks ready to me.
All right, why don't you shave off a little piece to try? Maybe we should have got a sharper knife.
Yeah, definitely. Just gonna kind of.
Want my knife, Coop?
I'm good.
Cooper spent the summer here taming some cattle, getting them Clover and Joy to come to him, walk around with him. Ooh.
It smells good.
Wow.
Ooh, it looks
That
ripe.
Looks juicy.
Let's cut it in half so you and Poppy can each try some.
This is the best part. I'm just gonna cut one more slice.
Okay. So in May, this is when we started this, and now it's October and we're getting a little one.
Thank you, Coop.
You're welcome.
Wow, wait.
Mmm. It's sweet.
Very sweet. Mm.
Wow, pineapple in Rhode Island. Pretty awesome.
It's-
We're zone
Wow.
7B now. So we're didn't think you could go pineapple, but we did it. All right, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.